From the reports, which I assume you have read some of them, there is a problem of water quality and quantity in Gaza, but I have to elaborate about the reasons first behind that. We have one water resource in Gaza, which is part of the so-called coastal aquifer. And as you know, Gaza is a small geographical area, and falls downstream of the underground flow of this aquifer. Now, the quantities available as a yield capacity for this part of the aquifer under Gaza is limited to around 50 million cubic meter per year. If we add the leakage from the networks and from agriculture, the infiltration from the rainwater and the underground flow, all of that sums to a maximum of 90 million cubic meter per year. Comparing this figure to the total abstraction of water from this aquifer or part of the aquifer in Gaza, which is amounting to 170 million cubic meter a year, makes an annual deficit of around 80 million cubic meter a year. This deficit is accumulating all the time, year by year, and is increasing. 5 years ago, we were talking about a deficit of 65 or 70 million.
And this is because the population is increasing, or?
Yeah, many reasons, of course. The population is increasing and the needs are increasing. And the standards of life, although there is the closure during the last 2 years, but the standards of life as well are increasing. The demand is increasing. Now, this out of balance equation makes two things. First, due to lowering the water table, because we abstract more than what the aquifer is being discharged, fed, the lowering water table encourages the seawater intrusion, and this of course increases the salinity all the time. And trying to substitute for the demand of the consumers, the operators, the municipalities are withdrawing more water, abstracting more water from the water wells, more than the yield capacity of the wells themselves, and this results in a phenomenon called upconing. This and as a result of that overpumping, the salty water from the bottom is being pushed to the surface. So this is the reason for salinity: seawater intrusion and the salty water from the bottom because of the over abstraction. On the other hand, many areas in Gaza suffer from the lack of wastewater services, especially when we talk about the treatment and the wastewater collection in many areas, in the middle area of Gaza, in Khan Yunis area, and in Rafah, and to some extent in the north of Gaza. This leads to the infiltration of the raw wastewater by the time to the aquifer. The result of this infiltration is an increase in the levels of nitrates in this water. In addition, nitrates is increasing due to the uncontrolled use of the pesticides and the fertilizers in the agriculture. The results of this increase in salinity and nitrates level can be summarized that today more than 95% of the water in this part of the aquifer under Gaza either suffers from high levels of chlorides exceeding 1,000 parts per million compared to 250 ppm according to WHO, and in some cases it can reach 5,000 or more. And the nitrates level can reach 350 parts per million compared to 50 parts per million according to the WHO. Of course, some of the areas suffer from only high nitrates level and others suffer from high salinity levels, but in combination both are affecting the public health, and the result that 95% of this water is far behind the international standards. It doesn't mean that the remaining 5% are safe for the customers, because they are simply mixed in the distribution networks, and there is no benefit of having 5% of good water when mixed with 95% bad water. This is the background of the water supply in Gaza. Now, to overcome this problem, we opened the door to the private sector to make their private desalination small size projects, and they distribute this water, desalinated water, by tankers. Unfortunately, this business is now out of control because, first, of the internal political conflict, and because of the way that this water is being distributed. Now, the tanker fills its water from the desalination plant and starts to distribute this water either to the small tanks installed at the supermarkets or shops, or at the small tanks inside the houses. We talk in this case about hundreds of thousands of tanks that can never be controlled. But when taking samples out of those, there is an indication that we are in a real problem, because the quality in terms of salinity, yes, there is no salinity, but this is not what we need actually, because removing this salinity completely from the water is not healthy, and this gives a chance for the microbiological contamination. And when taking samples from some of the small tanks inside the houses or the water shops or supermarkets, there are indications of the biological contamination. This became a culture, unfortunately, inside the Palestinian population in Gaza, that they believe that as low as the salinity is more and more lower, the water is more perfect, which is wrong, and we are trying to work on changing this culture. They don't understand that storing this water without salinity, almost without salinity, to long periods, maybe 2 weeks or more sometimes, is leading to contamination and damage for their health. And when they go for hospitals, they don't know the reasons why. When there are problems in the stomachs or the prices of this water is affordable to the consumers, because they use this water only for drinking purpose. They consume limited quantities only for drinking or cooking, which is, as you indicated, around 2 to 3 liters per capita per day. Comparing this cost to the municipal invoice that the customers should pay, it becomes very expensive. Although we talk about small money, little money, because we talk about little water quantity, but when a family pays 50 Israeli shekels per month, which is the minimum for this water, which is, between brackets, unhealthy again, compared to almost the same figure that they should pay to the municipal supplied water, they believe that they are paying their money in the correct way, but they are not. Now, one of the problems facing the operators in Gaza is the low efficiency of collecting. Should the consumers pay permanently the water invoices, this will enable the operators to be more active in the maintenance and operation, and possibly in developing the water projects that can improve the water quality.